You a little about these two airplanes. I'll get my book out here and get it a little wet. Look at this. This is the new aircraft that's going to be part of your United States Navy. All right, let me get the frequency here, and we'll see if we can get it online here. Look to the left.
On glide path. Turn left heading at 070. On glide path.
Listen for this.
113 Roger. Can you want to see visually?
Proceeding visual.
Runway 5 right. Understand, clear, touchdown. Clear, touchdown, runway 5 right, wing 005.
Now, had he not been in the clear when he got to 200 feet, the controller would have said, your decision height, that means the aircraft would have leveled off till he saw the actual, runway environment. That means the lights leading to the runway or the runway itself. He's been cleared for touch and go. Here comes the Nightingale. We'll keep the radio on here just to listen a little bit, because we should hear another one with the C-40, the 737. Does the same apply to you? The closer you get to the target, so slightly left, of course, when you're 10 miles out, would be unusable close in. I mean, if the pilot maintained that kind of deviation.
Yes, that's why when they're further out, that's why your controllers give them larger turns, like 4 or 5 degree turns further out. And then as they get closer to the runway, we're narrowing that down to 2 and 3 degree turns.
All right, well, let's keep an eye on this. This looks like this is the C-40 inbound here. Now, I have not heard all those calls. Hey, Sean Powers, thank you very much. Sure appreciate it. Sean, yeah, thanks. You'll notice, if you will, the winglets, those things at the end of the wing that stick up, those are actually very, very helpful with respect to aerodynamics. They reduce the wingtip vortices and the turbulence that creates drag around the ends of the wings and makes the aircraft more efficient. That airplane will carry 131 passengers, or they can carry 2 big containers and 70 passengers in it. It's going to greatly increase the efficiency. They've got, there are 3 that are coming to the squadron. Is it BC-56 that is going to retire their C-9 Nightingales. They're going to get 3 of these. 1 they've accepted, 1 is still on the production line, and I forget where the other one is. I have my script here, it's buried here someplace, but there's the airplane.
On glide path. On glide path, flight for correction.
He'll probably call runway in sight.
Field in sight, 694, proceed to stage officer.
There you go.
Runway 5 right, main at 60, I'm done.
Romeo Yankee 694,
An instrument landing system, if it were done all automatically with the ground-based electronics, which then are decoded by receivers and put on needles on gauges in the aircraft, will allow the pilot to land in about 250 feet of vertical altitude. He has to be able to see, or she has to be able to see the runway at 200 feet and visibility of between 1/2 and 3/4 of a mile laterally. It's down, it's a touch and go. Clean the airplane up, throttles forward. Here we go. Nose coming up. feet and disappearing into the clouds. That, ladies and gentlemen, is why we can't put air show airplanes in the air, because the airplane is disappearing so quickly. All right, we're going to take a little break here and we're going to pull the collective up and make the helicopter go up. But there is not a movement that is made by the pilot of the helicopter that doesn't require movement of one of the other controls. The cyclic stick is like a joystick that comes up to the floorboards in between the pilot's knees. That's in his or her right hand. The left hand controls the collective, which controls the engine power and the pitch or the angle of the actual blade. And the pilot's pedals, feet are on anti-torque pedals, which control the tail rotor to keep the aircraft pointed whatever way the pilot wants it to go. This is the MH-53. You may notice out in front there is a big long stick or a needle. That is part of the aerial refueling capability of the helicopter. That is telescoped in right now. When they need to pass gas, that's right. When they need to refuel in the air, and that's what they call it. They call it, it's indelicate, but I'm sorry, that's what they say. When they need to pass gas, that proboscis, if you will extend, making it almost double the length of what it is right now. And then it will fly in formation with perhaps a KC-130 anchored vertically from a vehicle. Looks like a candy apple red big Chevy pickup truck. But that's where the similarity ends. It's on the roll. It's not your average Chevrolet pickup truck anymore. It's got a spoiler on the back and count of two J-34 jet engines. The same type of engine that powers the Navy Buckeye. And they have the world's biggest fighter right there. 75 feet of flame, about 10,000 pounds of thrust with full afterburner. That converts somewhere in the neighborhood of 19,000 to 20,000 horsepower. At the control designer, the builder, and the man who did it all, Les Shockley, wants to get on the brakes. Listen to the burner pops. Now, he'll engage full afterburner in a minute. And here, now check it out. Watch the wheels. They're not going to turn. But watch the burners throw the vehicle forward. How do you like that?
Oh, I see his umbrella.
This truck has the capability on a dry day. Now, you cannot take it out for a high-speed run because it's wet on the runway. But this vehicle can run at speeds of over 300 miles an hour. To 60 miles an hour. Les Shockley. Give him a big round of applause. He's setting off car alarms.
Yeah.
Les Shockwave from Kansas has also developed a Peterbilt truck with 3 jet engines on it that set a Guinness Book of World Records speed record of 376 miles per hour. Not a vertical landing, but a short field takeoff. It's got an engine that generates more than twice the thrust of the original Rolls-Royce Pegasus engine that powered the original P-1127 and Kestrel aircraft.
Yeah, the 100 to 400.
He's spooling it up. 23,000 pounds of thrust. Let's take a look. He's going to lift off using those nozzles, not to go straight up, but to go forward and launch within about 200 feet, maybe even less. Take a look. This is your United States Marine Corps AV-8B Harrier 2. I want you to notice a couple of things. The landing gear, very different. It's got a bicycle landing gear plus 2 outriggers. But also under the wings are hard points or weapons stations, allowing it to carry up to 13,000 pounds of ordnance. It does not fly faster than the speed of sound. Its mission is not to go fast. Its mission is to get close to the action, to be able to land and take off from austere, unimproved runways, concrete roads, whatever it happens to be, vertically if necessary, and to deliver close air support for our Marine Corps and coalition troops on the ground. Now, as he comes around, he's actually, is he doing a weather check for us? Major Birchfield is actually going up to check to see what the ceiling is. He's up at 2,200 feet. He's still clear. He will continue to climb until he reaches the clouds. Once he reaches the base of the clouds, he will then report what that altitude is. This is called a pilot report or a PIREP.
What he's doing right now, guys, he's trying to see how high it
This
right now.
I'd say that same Falcon.
Now the reason it did not do a vertical takeoff here is because the runway is made of asphalt. The engine exhaust is so hot that it would melt the asphalt. And so we don't want to do that. Because we need to have a runway here. Because the Viper wants to fly. And everybody else. And it's a brand new runway. That's right. Last year this runway was not usable. It was still under construction. We used the outside runway. And this year the outside runway is under construction. And we're using the close runway. Now he's going to continue to climb. What we're going to see in just a couple of moments on the Harrier is the ability of the aircraft to hover. The hovering flight. See the landing gear and the outriggers? The hovering flight is achieved by changing the direction of the nozzles to straight down. At the pilot's left hand, near the throttle is another lever which changes the exhaust direction from straight back into any angle all the way down to 90 plus 10, or actually 100 degrees, so that he can back up if necessary. He's going to bring it around and do what they call the Harrier dance or the Harrier ballet. He's going to go into hovering flight. There are 2 exhaust nozzles from that Rolls-Royce Pegasus engine, and all those are behind the wings, and then just in front of the wings there are 2 more nozzles that use bleed air from those huge intakes on either side, and those 4 nozzles will allow the pilot to balance the airplane and hover it like a helicopter. Now, since there's no airflow over the control surfaces, he cannot use the rudder or the ailerons or the elevator to change direction. So he uses what they use, similar to what they use in the space shuttle, and that they've used in spacecraft for years, and that's a reaction control system. Again, using bleed air from the intake of the engine, some of that air is sent by ductwork to thrusters in the nose, in the tail, and on the wings.
You're one of those.
That will enable the pilot to balance the aircraft and turn left, right, and then using that extra 10 degrees of deflection, back up, move a little bit forward, tilt from side to side, turn it on a dime, give you 9 cents change. We'll see that in just a moment. I'm telling you that now because as he approaches, it's going to be really, really, really loud. So we'll take a few minutes on that, so stay with us. You'll want to put in hearing protection if you've got it. If you've got what earplugs, use them. And here it comes.
Got it.
The sound system will never be loud enough, no matter how big the sound system is, to overcome this. But from Marine Corps Air Station Cherry Point, Major Andy Birchfield, right from Vienna, Virginia, in the AV-8B Harrier 2. detriment for combat aircraft because it gave away the aircraft's location. So a lot of research was done to improve the technology of the engines so that the smoke would not be visible. Now right there we saw a lot of smoke. Well, it's not really smoke. In order, under heavy loads for this airplane, and in order to accelerate vertically and get out of Dodge, they actually carry about 100 imperial gallons of distilled water, which they inject into the combustion chamber to cool the engine and make it run more efficiently, developing more thrust. So it's the silliest thing in the world, but they throw water on the fire to make it burn better. But that's what that smoke was all about. It also, I hope, gave you an idea. You could see how the direction of the smoke changed as the pilot moved the lever into position for normal forward flight. Now, he's going to come around, let's see, he's over on the left. He's going to do what they call a rolling vertical landing. Since it's asphalt, since he's not going to hover and land straight down because it would tear up the asphalt, ruin the runway, and probably even cause damage to the aircraft engine, he's going to come around from the left and land at about 60 miles per hour. Now, this jet can weigh as much as 23,000 pounds, no, more than that, because it can carry 13,000 pounds of ordnance. I don't know what the maximum weight is, but it's going to be flying at 60 miles per hour as it approaches. And you'll see it land here in just a couple of seconds. The Marine Corps has 140 Harriers based at 7 squadrons at 2 different bases. The East Coast Navy Marine Corps Air Station Cherry Point, and out west here at Yuma, Arizona.
He was telling me Thursday, he said it was unbelievable. He's never seen 3 cones on his jet before.
Yeah. Yeah, we saw that.
And you got a picture of it.
I got a picture of it.
All 3 of them. No, I'm fine with the picture. I'll have that picture. That's the truth going up right now.
Nothing like the brown station wagon in the shot, though.
Yeah, old Heart Aviation. Yeah, I love this. Oh, I'm sure he got great video of it, though. Wish they had a bit of a launching demo.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Major Andy Birchfield in your United States Marine Corps AV-8B Harrier 2, while only taking off after a 1,000-foot roll. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's my distinct privilege to give you Major Corrigan and your F-16 Fighting Falcon.
overhead, ladies and gentlemen. I'll say y'all wanted to see that again? Watch now, everybody, rock and roll, the F-16, the speed is approaching. Mach 1. Watch from the right, as Major Corrigan shows you just out of sectional. The F-16 is in a 9G turn. As shown center, no plane sharply to a turn, best head body into the seat without the 9 times the force of gravity. In a full 360-degree turn, the F-16 has a turn radius of less than 1,400 feet. Slowing the Viper to prepare for a slow speed pass. While the F-16 can fly at more than twice the speed of sound, slow speed and controllability is just as important to those in flight. As he approaches show center, notice the aircraft's gray paint scheme.
I feel like I should have
that's designed to make it more difficult to pick up visually in conditions ranging from bright skies to dull overcast. As he passes show center, he'll apply full afterburner and accelerate his aircraft into a near vertical climb, demonstrating the F-16's awesome thrust-to-weight ratio.
There's
a voice in my head that drives by. My baby calling 'cause I need you here. And it's 4:30 and I'm shifting here. Ladies and gentlemen, Major Corrigan has begun preparation for the dedication pass. Major Corrigan and the rest of the F-16 demonstration team will wish to dedicate this pass to those men and women from all branches of the U.S. Armed Forces and to their families who so bravely fighting today's joint flight. This will be your best photo opportunity to get your cameras ready to capture this. Also like to take this opportunity to thank our wounded warriors and veterans who are in attendance today. Thank you for all your sacrifices to this great nation. enjoy this brief display of only a fraction of the F-16 full combat capability. As an integral part of the most capable Air Force the Air Force of the world has ever known, your F-16 fighters are ready to defend our nation's skies and dominate the battle space anywhere on the globe. Ready to aim high, fly, fight, and win. In the past year alone, your United States Air Force flew over 510,000 hours supporting operations in Iraq and Afghanistan. As proud members of an all-volunteer force, we hope our performance has inspired you to serve your country alongside the professional men and women you've seen here today.
And you know what, right here, touch and go,
off the ground, ensuring this game readiness to fight. If interested, please go see Staff Sergeant Dalton.
When he does it, he always aims for the trailers over there and tries to
one of our
bring it right on over the trailer.
The F-16 demonstration team.
That's by a Hornet.
And now, on behalf of the United States Air Force, the commander and all, AmeriCombat Command, General Michael Hostage, and all the men and women of AmeriCombat Command, thank you for your attendance, and thank you for your patience and support. We hope you enjoy this brief look at the F-16 Fighting Falcon. Major Corrigan, myself, as well as Dr. First Ladies Group, be happy to answer any questions you might have about the F-16 AmeriCombat Command or your United States Air Force. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you your United States Navy's F-18C Hornet. Hit it, Dano! Setting up for what we call a high-speed pass with a top speed of the airplane of about 1,200 miles per hour. The F-18 Hornet can use this high speed to its advantage to surprise an enemy using high speed. You'll notice that the sound of the airplane won't reach us until the aircraft gets almost to show center, indicating the high approach speed. He will approach at nearly Mach 1, nearly the speed of sound. With the two General Electric F404 engines.
As he comes in for the high speed.
Okay, all right, just heard from our boss. Look to the right, and I was wondering about the same thing. Look at the low clouds that are coming in there. Right there, we're too low. So he's going to do some weather reconnaissance for us to get another pilot report to see if we can continue the show. There he is. Did you see the globe in the tailpipes? That means the afterburners were engaged. It means the throttle is like all the way forward. And that means that raw jet fuel was being poured into the exhaust. Does a couple of very important things. Number one, gives the pilot a very, very quick burst of acceleration to get into a fight or out of a fight. The second thing it does is uses up a whole lot of jet fuel really fast. So you can't stay an afterburner very long, can you, Gooch? About how long can you stay an afterburner without using up all your gas? Just a few minutes? Yeah, so he'll be very careful about that.
What do you pronounce it with a D?
The F-18 Hornet actually has a history that goes back to the mid-1970s when the United States Air Force was looking for a new airplane, a new lightweight fighter. There were two aircraft in competition. One was the YF-16 that became the Fighting Falcon, the Viper we just saw. The other was the Northrop YF-17. for the United States Air Force lightweight fighter. And the YF-17, built by Northrop, was destined for a museum or perhaps even a scrap heap. But the United States Navy was looking for a replacement for some of its older fighters, among them being the A-7E Corsair II, and some even say the F-4 Phantoms built by McDonnell Douglas. And they were looking at the YF-17's 2 engines, and they thought, in carrier aviation, 2 engines, really good insurance. And so they got together with the folks at Northrop, and there was some political wrangling and intercorporate wrangling as it went on. But McDonnell Douglas was able to take that same basic design of the YF-17, strengthen it, change the landing gear, beef it up so it could handle carrier landings, and it became the United States Navy's F-18C Hornet. The same aircraft that you see flying here today in these parked out here in front of you, and they are the jets flown by the Navy Blue Angels. Then, when the Navy needed a replacement for its aging F-14 Tomcats, they looked no further than the proven design of the F-A-18, what we now call the Legacy Hornets, and developed the F-A-18 Super Hornet, which I believe we're going to see also fly, weather permitting, here in just a little bit. Okay, look to the left. He's still checking out the weather. As you can see, the weather show left is way better than the weather show right. And that affects everything. Still checking the weather. So the YF-17, a big-time loser with the Air Force, became a big-time winner with the Navy with the FA-18A and C models, and also the FA-18E and F model, the Super Hornet. Longer, advanced avionics, heavier, more powerful engines. And then, when the Navy was looking for a replacement for its EA-6B Prowlers, they went right back to that same design again, and they have come up with the FA-18G, known as the Growler, and its ability for electronic countermeasures in warfare. So that's the Hornet is just an amazing design. It just keeps getting better and better.
That's
Okay, here's the deal. I just heard from Tim Gamache, Commander Gamache, callsign Gooch, our air boss, saying that the weather has started to close in again. So he's going to land. Everybody say boo. So we have been weathered once again, and I will just thank you from the bottom of my heart for staying. Let me just share with you out of my sponsor book some more of the great sponsors we have, because they have stood by us and provided support for this show in big ways. And among those sponsors are Hall Automotive, with the biggest selection of cars around Hampton Roads. Call 242hallauto.com or 242-HALL to check out Hall Automotive. Over 2,000 new and used vehicles. We've got what you're looking for, so check it out. We also want to thank the folks at Pratt & Whitney. The Pratt & Whitney F-135 engine is the only engine powering the F-35 Lightning II. And if it's time for a positive change in your financial life, or if you're looking for seasoned investment advice, call Vic Filio and Chris Holliday of the Filio and Holliday Wealth Management Group. Vic and Chris are both certified financial planner practitioners. They've got over 25 years of combined industry experience. And to find out more, call Vic and Chris at 431-6311 to schedule an appointment. Regardless of where you go or what you do, Navy Mutual is with you, helping you protect those who matter most. Navy Mutual, ensuring those who serve at NavyMutual.org. It's NavyMutual.org. The flagship newspaper is the official news publication of the Navy's Mid-Atlantic region. It's a proud sponsor of the 2011 NAS Oceana Airshow. Pick up the latest edition of the flagship each and every Thursday in over 400 locations in Hampton Roads. The flagship is your source for news and information serving America's Navy, a global force for good.